Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to cut through the noise and give you those essential insights.
Absolutely.
And today, well, this is special. It's episode 4 of the Great by Choice podcast.
That's right.
And we are zeroing in on something really vital, especially if you're navigating change in the real estate market right now.
Definitely seeing a lot of that.
We've gone deep into some amazing material from a class by Scott Toller called Shift Happens, Thriving in a Tougher Market.
Scott's stuff is always so spot on.
It really is. Now, let's get real for a second. We get it. We know how it might feel out there.
Yeah.
If you're in real estate, the market isn't exactly, on fire like it was, that kind of easy ride. It's shifted.
Yeah, the feelings change.
And it's totally normal to feel maybe a bit scared, anxious even, when things change so fast.
Understandable.
But our mission today, and this is straight from Scott Toller's playbook, is to show you this is not the time to pull back. It's actually a huge opportunity.
Yeah.
Seriously. A chance to take massive action, do things differently, and come out of this stronger.
Stronger business, more market share on the other side. That's the goal Scott lays out.
Precisely. So we've pulled out the key nuggets from Scott's class to help you turn that anxiety into real action.
And what's great is how Scott just dives right into that feeling, that it's tough out there vibe.
Yeah, he doesn't shy away from it.
No, he acknowledges it.
Yeah.
But then, crucially, he backs it up with cold, hard data. Not just feelings,
Right.
which makes it so much more powerful.
Yeah.
He literally has a slide. Yes, it's tough out there. The numbers don't lie. The market is correcting.
So what kind of numbers are we talking about?
Well, Scott highlights his top 10 markets with largest home price declines chart. Pretty eye-opening.
Okay.
Take Austin, Texas. Peaked in May 2022. Since then, down almost 20%.
Wow, 20%.
Yeah, that's over $117,000 drop in average price. Think about that.
That's significant.
Or Cape Coral, Florida.
Oh.
Peaks June 22, down 13.3%.
Yeah.
Over 60 grand. San Francisco, similar story. Peaked April 22, down nearly 9%, but that's over $111,000 because prices are so high there.
Huge numbers.
And it's broader, too. Phoenix down 5.7%.
Yeah.
Boise down 5.2%. The list goes on. But here's the absolute core message from Scott.
Oh, okay. What's the takeaway?
Just because the market corrects doesn't mean your business has to correct. He reframes every single one of these drops
How so?
as an opportunity. An opportunity for a better script, a sharper conversation, a more realistic pricing strategy. This, Scott says, is where you pivot from anxiety to action.
Okay, that makes sense. So the numbers are stark. Scott acknowledges that reality. But before tactics, he talks mindset, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Foundational. He calls it the shift mindset.
Right, and he brings in that Gary Keller quote.
You can change the market. You can only change your tactics. Classic Keller.
Exactly. And then the Jeff Glover one, too.
This isn't a time to coast. It's a time to compete. Love that. It's so true in this environment.
It really is. It challenges that comfort zone we might have gotten into. And Scott actually asks directly in his class, what thoughts, what emotions pop up when you see these numbers?
He wants you to face it.
Yeah, acknowledge the fear, the worry, but then he pushes. Hard. Don't shrink back.
Double down. That's his mantra.
Double down. Which feels counterintuitive, right? When things get tough, the instinct is often to conserve, to wait.
Right. But Scott flips that. He asks, why do some thrive when others just, fade away?
And the answer?
This uncertainty. This is the moment to gain ground. While others hesitate, you move.
He gave an example from the past, didn't he?
Yeah, a powerful one. 2008. Market crashes. What did the top agents do?
They didn't retreat.
Exactly. They doubled their conversations. They became the only trusted voices people were hearing.
Wow.
And Scott points out, they didn't just survive '08, they dominated the next decade because of the actions they took during the downturn.
That really puts it in perspective, the power of action in tough times.
It does. So for you listening, Scott's message is, this isn't a threat, it's an opening, a chance to build something incredibly resilient.
Okay, so mindset is key. Don't shrink, double down, compete. But then, okay, what do we do? What are the practical steps Scott lays out?
Right, because mindset without action is just, wishful thinking.
Exactly. So Scott gets into his tactical changes to thrive. This is where it gets really practical.
Actionable stuff.
Tactic number 1, double your conversations.
Simple, but not easy. He sets a big goal.
Yeah, 20 real estate conversations per day.
20. That's a commitment.
It is. And he suggests, using the data we just talked about, those price drops. Use them to start the conversation.
So not avoiding the tough news, but leading with it.
Precisely. Like, hey, did you see prices in Austin are down almost 20%? Then pivot to opportunity.
Okay.
Scott even gave a script example, something like, "Hey John, saw this data showing local prices down over 13% from the peak. Sounds kind of scary, maybe, but could be a real opportunity for the right person. Want to chat about what it might mean for you?"
See, that turns negative data into a value proposition, a reason to talk now.
It's proactive.
And connecting that back, doubling conversations isn't just busy work. Scott's point is it's about being present when others go quiet.
Being visible.
Visible and valuable. It positions you as the leader, the informed expert, not just someone waiting for leads. You become the signal in the noise.
Okay, so more conversations.
Mm.
But the quality matters too, right? Which brings us to tactic 2.
Sharpen your skills.
Yeah.
Absolutely crucial. Scott hammers this. Daily practice.
Daily role play, script practice.
Yeah. Internalizing those dialogues so they become second nature, especially the tough ones.
Like price reductions, buyer objections.
Exactly. Those conversations that might make you sweat a little. Listing presentation confidence too. He gave a great objection handler.
Oh, yeah. Which one?
The classic, we're going to wait for rates to come down. We all hear that one.
All the time. So what's Scott's response?
It's brilliant because it educates.
Yeah.
Something like, totally get that. But, what most folks don't realize is when rates do drop, competition heats up fast.
Right. More buyers jump in.
Exactly, which often drives prices back up. So you might save on the rate, but pay more for the house overall. Does it make sense to look at that math together?
That's smart. It reframes the whole waiting idea.
It empowers the client with perspective. And it raises the question Scott implicitly asks. Are you ready for these conversations when the market isn't doing the selling for you?
Good point. In a hot market, maybe skills atrophy a bit.
Could be. Scott argues mastering these nuanced talks is how you become invaluable now. It's about being the confident guide people need. Daily practice is the price of that mastery.
Makes sense. Confidence comes from competence. Okay, tactic 3.
Become the economist of choice. This is about positioning.
Economist of choice. I like that. How?
Scott suggests weekly updates, video, email, whatever fits your style. Share market insights consistently.
Using that data again, like the price adjustments.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Leverage the local data, the charts, the trends. But don't just dump data. Interpret it.
Okay. Explain what it means.
Yes. Scott gave an example like a Market Monday video. This week in your town, prices shifted X%. Here's what that means for buyers. Here's what it means for sellers. And here's how we can position you.
Proactive education.
That's the key.
Yeah.
Scott isn't saying just share numbers. He's saying interpret them. Be the expert who makes sense of it all for your sphere.
That builds massive trust.
Immense trust. You become the indispensable advisor, not just another agent relaying headlines. It's strategic.
Love it. Okay, that leads us to tactic 4.
Control the controllables. This one's about focus and, honestly, sanity.
Right? Scott reminds us you can't control rates, the Fed, national price moves.
Nope. Wasting energy there is just frustrating.
So what can you control?
Your actions, your activities, calls made, appointments set, open houses held, follow-up executed. Scott lists these out.
The daily grind, but framed as empowerment.
Precisely. Instead of stressing about inflation, Scott says, commit to your actions. Like 50 contacts this week, 2 open houses, 3 handwritten notes today, whatever it is for you.
It shifts focus from external anxiety to internal action.
You take back control. That's Scott's core message here. He even has an exercise where agents write down their controllables and commit.
So maybe for everyone listening, what are, say, 3 controllables you could commit to this week?
Great question. Identifying them is step 1. Consistent action is step 2. That's how you regain agency.
Okay, so we have the mindset shift, double down, and the tactics, double conversations, sharpen skills, be the economist, controllables. How does Scott suggest we tie it all together?
He wraps up with a very practical implementation plan. Simple title. Shift happens, will you?
Direct. I like it.
It's a challenge, right? And he provides a tool, a survival plan worksheet. Super simple, super effective.
Got it.
Just 3 things to nail down. 3 commitments for this week, 1 skill to work on daily, and 1 bold action in the next 48 hours.
Concrete, specific.
Exactly. So, example Scott gave. Commitments could be 20 contacts day, send 10 CMAs, role play daily.
Okay.
Skill could be mastering price reduction talks.
Right.
Bold action. Maybe going live on Instagram with market data for the first time ever. Something that pushes your boundary.
So it forces you to translate all this learning into immediate, tangible steps.
This is where the rubber meets the road, as they say. It's Scott Tuller's blueprint for turning theory into results. It's about leveraging this shift, not just surviving it.
Makes total sense.
So looking back at everything Scott presented, we see this clear arc. Acknowledge the fear, ground it in data, shift the mindset, and then execute specific tactics relentlessly.
Yeah, the path is clear.
The main takeaway really is that this shifting market, it's not the end, it's the proving ground. It's the opportunity Scott talks about for those willing to adapt, learn, and truly compete.
Adapt, sharpen skills, compete.
By taking that massive action, doubling conversations, practicing daily, becoming that economist, controlling your actions, you're not just aiming to survive, you're aiming to gain market share. It's what Scott means when he says this shift isn't about elimination, it's about exposure.
That's a powerful closing thought from Scott's class, isn't it? Tough markets don't eliminate agents. They expose who's actually in it.
Really makes you think.
It does.
Yeah.
So for you listening right now, what does that mean for you? What action, maybe just one bold action, will you take today or this week to show you're truly in it?
What's your commitment?
Let that sit with you. How can you use what we've unpacked from Scott Toller today, the data, the mindset, the tactics, to not just weather this, but actually dominate?
It's possible. Scott lays out how.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.